Oh, wow.
Okay, good morning, everyone. Happy Monday.
Good
We
morning.
Good morning. How are you feeling?
Considering not too bad. Not too bad.
Okay, well, you share what you want. I want to, as we go through this topic, which I think is really important. Oh, I'm getting an echo back. Okay, so today is Mindset Monday, and I want to talk today about four ways. Four ways. I wanted to come up with five, but for some reason this morning only four came to my mind. When you can tell it's time to reset your life, hit the reset button in order to avoid overwhelm and feeling burnt out, which I think as entrepreneurs, we almost always hit that point when we're trying to achieve new levels.
Correct. I think we just get into that go mode. And then when it's time to we're starting to feel that burnout. And not only does that impact our business, our life, our personal, but it does impact your marketing also. That you start to get stale and you're just kind of doing the whole hum. And so it is important to take a time out to reset.
It's actually true. When you said your social media gets affected, I sometimes say to people, which sounds so rude to my clients, but they know me and they understand that I'm not being rude. I'm just trying to help them in their businesses and become more profitable. If your business isn't going well, sometimes you have to look at your life.
Definitely.
Right.
Definitely.
And that's why when you say your marketing gets affected, it's because you are maybe doing too much of the same thing over and over again. Right. So you're only focusing on one avenue of your life. And I think that this happens, I know, to me when I'm focusing on leveling up or have a new project or something I get really excited about that's going to help my clients. And then I realize I go overboard helping them. And I'm not always focusing on, well, wait, slow down. I need to also make sure that I have balance in my life.
Right. And I think as service-based entrepreneurs and business owners, it is a huge struggle, whether you're a coach, an interior designer, a social media marketer. Our life and blood of our business is our customers and our clients.
Yes.
And then, with my recent surgery, I've had to it was really hard. I was more worried about my clients than necessarily preparing for myself for a big surgery. And that was a big aha moment, because then when I started looking at everything, it's like, I've been doing this full time for 5 years. And where is it getting me the quality of life that I wanted 5 years ago? Or did I just fall back into that same trap? Except for having one boss, now I have 26 bosses.
Exactly. Oh my God, it's so true. It's so true, right? We are in our own business to afford a balanced life and to focus on the things we also want to focus on outside our businesses. But it is true, when you're a service-based entrepreneur, your clients are pulling at you constantly. And, kind of like as they should, in the
Correct.
sense that they're paying us to do a service and help them. But at the same time, just like all the service-based entrepreneurs that will be listening now or in the future on replay, it's important to set the expectations early as to the fact that you may be a service provider, but you also have a life and a family and things that interest you. And you're not in business to be working 24/7. That's 7-Eleven, not us.
Right. And interior designers and coaches that you work with, you can't show up on your A game when you're burned out.
Right.
Yeah.
All right. So I wrote down 4 ways to tell if it's time to hit the reset button. And the reason why this topic came to mind this morning is because I recently had a wake-up call that when I rolled out the book, and I had like 3 or 4 really big, giant projects in the background that honestly, mostly my staff is handling, but at the same time, I'm in there driving the process, excited about it, focused on it. And all of a sudden I was like, okay, hold on. My body was like firing all kinds of high blood pressure, tired, unfocused, not feeling joy. So I thought, okay, let's write down the things that I learned that I can help all of you with if you start to feel these things that could mean it's time to hit the reset button. And before I even get into them, it's really come to light for me that I need to look at my calendar a year in advance and say, this is when I am taking off. Now, I'm a last minute person, Kim. I'm just like, yeah, let's go, let's do. And then I try to figure it out. But it's really important. One of my coaches early on said to set 90-day pushes and then take a vacation afterwards or take a break afterwards. And I thought, I've never had to do that. Well, guess what? Now I think I do.
Right.
90-day pushes to get something off the ground, a new product, a new focus, a new something you want to learn. And then it's like, okay, need to take a little bit of a mental break for a couple of days or a week, and then we can keep going. So good morning, everyone.
That is really interesting because, I had this surgery and it's part one of 3 phases. I have to wait 90 days before I can do phase 2. Isn't that kind of interesting? Like, it's actually an insurance requirement that you have to wait 90 days for the body to heal and everything. And so already I'm like, okay, now how do I gear up and start preparing for my next? So it's very interesting that 90 days, whether it's through work or through physical or through whatever, that is important. And I had heard that before too, but I forget about making time to take time away and like 90 days, block something fun out on my calendar.
Yeah, because we get wrapped up in, got to go, 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 go. We got to get it to the next level, and you got to get it by December 31st, and you just overly focus sometimes. And that really is counterproductive, because when you overly focus, you're not giving yourself enough space in your life and in your brain to breathe the creativity, right? It's just like for an interior designer, sometimes they have to step away from the project in order to just let it develop, right? And coaches too. When I step back and think, what are my clients really needing from me? Am I providing everything? Is there something more I can provide in that space? Is when I have the aha moments.
Right.
Not when I'm sitting at my desk, gotta do, right? So, good morning, Stacy. Good morning, Laurie. Good morning, Adam. I'm looking at my other screen so I can see who's on.
And one thing too that I struggled with was the 90-day project, or the 90 days, is that my clients revolve in and out. Like, we keep them long, but we're always attaining new clients. And so as I was looking ahead, it's like, I, for the first time ever, had to say, I'm sorry, I would love to take you on for a client. If you can come on April 1st, we can have you, but we can't take anybody on in March because I can't serve you well. And same with interior designers. I know when we get big projects, most of the time, the people that you're going to work with, if they want to work with you, they're not going to mind waiting a week or two after you have your week off. And so don't let that project, I guess that was my learning lesson, is not letting project-based stop me from having something on that calendar and just working around that opportunity.
Right. I mean, you're right. Don't let someone else's urgency about their business suck you into doing something that you personally can't fit into your schedule right now, right? It's the same way I teach interior designers. Don't get sucked into someone else's money story, right? Or the coaches don't, well, I can't afford this, so you're going to lower your price and work into your profit, right? This is all the same mindset of making sure you're being authentic to your business, to your pricing structure, to your life, right? This is all that same mindset gear that makes you just as important as your clients, right?
Right.
So, okay, so let's go through the 4 things that you can start to tell whether it's time to hit the reset button. So, number 1 is look at the way you spend your free time. And if it's not relaxing, if it's not rejuvenating, and it's still draining you, then it may not be the best way to spend your truly free time when you're trying to reset your mind, right? So I used to, in all my free time, be listening to podcasts and coaches and trainings and reading business books. The pile of business books on my desk is ridiculous. Now, there's a time and a place for that, and I want to keep doing that. But in my true free time, where I'm not supposed to be working, is what I'm doing with my time, actually rejuvenating my soul and my brain. And I was finding that it wasn't, because I wasn't giving myself enough. And I think COVID has really complicated that.
Right. Because everyone's thinking, COVID, I have this time now. It's the perfect time for personal development and making a life that we want. And so we put so much pressure. Instead, I think with COVID, it was either flip. You either like, I'm going to come out of COVID like really strong and the best business person ever, or I'm going to come out of COVID 50 pounds heavier and watched every single thing on Netflix. Like, I think that there was like,
or a balance of the two.
right, but very few. And I tend to lean more like you, where I love to read business development books and listen to podcasts and stuff. But one thing with the surgery, I wasn't allowed to drink alcohol. Now, we're social drinkers. We enjoy a glass of wine, whatever. And so then at like Friday night, I was like, oh my gosh, I don't know how to like we always have a glass of wine on Friday night. And I all of a sudden couldn't. So we found this Netflix series that I never would have watched before, but it just was a feel good, like no mind thing. That was a perfect reset for my mind. Like, it was just the perfect.
Well, tell us the name.
It was called Good Witch.
Oh, I haven't seen that one. Okay.
It was, yeah, it's not like you're gonna walk away. Like, it's not something I normally would have watched. There was enough of a good, positive personal development. Like, she'd have like one little one-liners, but it was just a nice story that didn't get me too excited. It kind of unwound me. And it really, if I could say one thing that carried me through this whole journey, it was that. Like, it was 6 seasons, and I would just lay in the hospital bed and watch a session, but it was what started was at home. My husband said, you need to find something to help you reset.
Okay, so you're going to laugh at me, right? You're right? You needed to reset. You found something that, whether it was mindless or not, that's okay. That's what resetting is all about. And finding something that makes the time go during your relaxing time, that you're not looking at the watch, always being antsy, right? It's something that, like, I watched my mother truly get lost in painting, and my father builds beautiful model ships. And I think, what am I going to do in my retirement? I don't really have a hobby. My hobby's work. My hobby's personal development. My hobby's always, what can I develop next for my clients to help them get to the next level? So you're going to laugh. I actually put it next to me so everyone could see how I'm not artistically inclined at all, yet I'm come from a family very artistically inclined. So I was walking through getting a prescription yesterday, and I saw this book. It's really funny. Paint by stickers. Okay. That's how pathetic I am. I can't even like paint with a brush by numbers, right? It was paint by stickers. So look what I made last night.
Oh, how fun.
Okay.
That's
silly
gorgeous.
Little things. But while I was sitting with the TV on in the background, I thought, oh, let me make this little thing. And it was so relaxing. And it was really like my mind wasn't thinking about work and clients while the TV was on. It was focused on something else, right? So sometimes if you're looking at the way you're spending your free time and it's not allowing you to really reset, you have to explore and find other things. So I always like to explore between Sudokus and word searches and crossword puzzles, and now this, right? So I don't know, it might be silly, but to me, I was like, oh, this is kind of fun. And it may not last long, but it is for now.
Right.
So between Netflix series, I'm going to try that one. Good Witch, you said?
Good Witch.
Okay. All right. So number 2 on how to figure out if you're starting to need to reset your body and your mind is if you're not feeling joy in anything that you're doing, or you're not feeling joy in as many things as you used to feel joy in. And again, I'm going to go back to COVID a little bit. It's not something that is easy right now for people to feel a lot of joy. So it's important to find new things.
Right.
That rejuvenates your soul. And that's not bad for you, right? Things that are actually good for you. Number 3, which falls right into what you're dealing with and what I dealt with, you at a different level, of course, is what is your body telling you right now?
Right.
The fact that I ran high blood pressure twice that I don't normally run, I was like, okay, what's my body telling me, right? What's going on? And I had to really think, and you have been going through that for years.
Right. Yes. As many people know, I had breast cancer and then had implants, because at that time there was no other option. It was flat or implants. And so we did the implants. Well, then fast forward 10 years, they have to be replaced like their tires. Like every 8 to 10 years, you're supposed to replace them.
I did not know that.
Yes. And so it was coming on time. It was 10 years needed to be replaced. But then I started learning more about breast implant illness. And there was just some things that started clicking, like they need to get out. And so we made the choice that they were going to go out. And this is one condition where COVID was thankfully happened because I wasn't aware that there was other options besides just removing them and being flat. Nobody, that's just kind of standard protocol around here. Well, and so I had a surgery scheduled, and then COVID happened and it got canceled. Well, then 2 months later, I had met another woman, and she said, no, there's a procedure that they've been doing for a while called DEEP, where they'll use your body tissue and recreate breast and instead of the implants. And it's like, oh, I don't know, it's a pretty big thing. So they did a lot of research, and with the history of the treatment that I had for cancer treatment, the doctors actually recommended this was better for my body long term than the flat because of all the scar tissue. And so basically I had, finally found a physician down in Texas, which was, I think it was a 16-hour drive.
Wow.
Down there, but they would do the same procedure in the same day. So 9.5 hours procedure. It's amazing what they can do, and amazing how fast the body can recover. But I had to, again, reset, give myself permission to take control. Like, it was important enough, like they had to come out. And actually, once they were out, the surgeon said, we understand why you've had pain for 10 years. Your muscle was really, it created a big band across the implant, and they could see that. So it was validated. So yes, but even through the recovery period, just for one, I have the best clients in the world. Very, very gracious, very kind and understanding, because it's hard when you're a service-based provider, having to not be able to perform to where you like to perform. Yes. But then I'm giving, even the next couple of weeks, I'm day 11 and giving myself permission to go take those naps and reset. And what I've learned is that I thought I was going to make all these goals for the business. And
while you were in recovery, you thought you'd be using this time to focus on your business again instead of yourself. Right.
But what I did realize is there are some things in my business that were not healthy for the growth of my business, and changes that I need to implement. And so I haven't laid out the schedule yet, but my goal is in the next 6 weeks is to really talk to the experts that I need to talk to help get my business where I want it to go, to better serve the clients that I have. But that reset time helped me take a step back to realize what needed to shift. And I don't know, when you're in it every day and you don't take the time like you and I had to reset, you don't get to always see what needs to shift. And so then you're working in something that long term isn't going to serve you as well.
Yes, because you get in the frenzy, right? You get into the frenzy. Like I'm pulling the plug on 3 huge projects that I have focused so much of my mental energy on, and really was convinced that was my next path. And I thought, once I stepped away, and this now feeds into tip number 4 on how do you know when it's time to reset and step back and reevaluate, is listen to your friends and family, right? So going away with my daughter for a couple of days, just hitting the road, and she said a couple of things to me like, Mom, like, at your age, and do you want to take on that huge, other business I was looking to create? And I thought, yeah, I'm ambitious. I've been ambitious since I was born, right? But in my 20s, 30s, 40s, but now that I'm in my 50s, is this the life that I want to live over the next 10 years?
Correct.
Right? The next 15 years. How do I want to direct my business? And I think it's really hard for everyone as an entrepreneur when we get caught up in the frenzy of our business, because it's doing well, it's doing great, this happened and that happened. Sometimes not taking the time to reset and step back a little bit doesn't allow us to see that high level view. Like, I do that for my clients. I see the high level view. But if you don't have a coach that does that for you, you have to do it for yourself. You have to step back and go, what do I want for my life, for my income, for my clients, for my friends and family, and say, is this the right path for me? I think what you said was so key. 5 years ago, when you started your business, you thought this is going to be the life, right? I'm going to own my own business. I'm going to be a laptop, traveling, whatever you thought, right? I thought, I'm going to be a laptop coach. I'm going to be able to coach from anywhere. And suddenly I'm like, wait, no, that's not really always the way it works. Can we develop that better and maybe make that a little more of a reality? Of course. But you have to reset and reevaluate every 90 days to say, What am I doing? And is this the direction I want to go in? How do I feel? Am I feeling joy? Is my body telling me anything that I should change? Or my friends and family pointing anything out to me that maybe I should listen, as opposed to just like poo-poo everybody, right? And believe me, I poo-poo a lot of people because they're not entrepreneurs. But there are certain people in your life that truly understand what you do and also care about you as a person, not just as a service provider.
Correct. And I learned this big time being like, I didn't realize I had one speed, and that was fast.
Yes.
I would do this, and now all of a sudden I can't get off the chair without my husband giving me a hug to help me up. And having to slow down like that made me like, oh my goodness. And then how I would, at first, the like tip on the tongue was like, like you're frustrated and stuff, but realizing that, you know what, did I gain anything? Like that was what I started asking myself is, yeah, I can go at a high speed and I can multitask like the best of them, and I can have 50 browsers on the open, but do I really need 50 browsers open? Or
right. Wait, no, I need all 3 of my monitors, Kim. I really do.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. And so I think that is where I've learned from the reset. The best thing is to really look at where do I want to go? What's the value? And when I'm running so fast, can I really cherish the things or people like my husband in my life when he's been sitting on the sidelines waiting, and I've just been like running way ahead of him. And
right. Yes. So, all right. So hopefully this is connecting with someone today who needs to hear it, right? Because I believe that you listen to things that they come to you and you're available to listen, whether it's live or on replay, when you might actually have to hear it. So if it's time for you to hit the reset button, then realize that everybody has to do it at some point. Otherwise, it's going to be done for you. And that's what you don't want.
Yes.
Right?
Definitely.
That's the whole getting sick thing. So look at the way you spend your free time. Does it bring you joy? Does it rejuvenate you? Does it refresh you? Number 2, are you feeling joy in anything that you do? If you're not, it might be time to reset. What is your body telling you? Is it starting to fire off kind of these mishaps and not feeling well? If that's the case, look to see whether you have to get off the treadmill of life for a couple of days and just do something rejuvenating for yourself, and listen to your friends and family who love you if they feel you're just going at top speed. We don't always have to go at top speed, right? We can, just like on the road when you're driving, sometimes it's fast, sometimes it's slow, and sometimes you actually have to stop at a stoplight or a stop sign.
Right. And we're drivers that we like get in the car and 7 hours later we stop to get gas and pee. Well, with the surgery, you have to stop every 90 minutes to get out.
90. See, that's the trick. At 90 days, 90 minutes, right? There's the key here. And that's the thing that drives it all together. We
made it home just as quickly. Like we made it home 6 hours earlier than we had planned, even though we stopped every 90 minutes. How'd that happen?
I think this is an analogy for your business, right? Yes. If you stop every 90 days, you're going to make it to the same spot in less time than if you try to go top speed and bump into things along the way, because you're not taking the time to stop and really evaluate the direction you're going in.
Okay.
I like it. See, we came up with a whole new visual now. I'm going to use that in my coaching.
That's the way both of our minds work.
Well, thank you, Kim. I know you're only 11 days post-surgery, and I appreciate you even being here for everybody, because I think this was a great lesson and sharing your story.
Well, I appreciate being able to help each other all walk along this journey.
Yes. That's what we all rise up together, right? I always say that.
Yes.
All right, everyone. So go have a great week. If you are needing to stop and smell the roses a little bit, then do so, and understand that this is a big soap opera that we live in. And if you can turn off the channel for a couple of days and not a lot is going to change, you're going to step right back into it and go full speed again. All right. All right. See everyone next Monday. Although I will see everyone next Tuesday. I'll see you next Monday, Kim.
Yes, sounds good. Thank you. Have a great week.
Bye, everyone. Have a great week.